Welcome to The Peak, where becoming your best self is our goal. I'm Mike Mittman, and on this week's episode, a nonprofit dedicated to serving the behavioral and mental health needs of children, families, and communities. How St. Luke's provides children advanced care close to home, and an organization helping families get through difficult times. All that and more coming up on The Peak. The Trolley Barn Public Market in Quakertown is an indoor, year-round marketplace where residents and visitors can find fresh, seasonal food from local farmers and food entrepreneurs.
The Trolley Barn Public Market, located in Quakertown, Pennsylvania, is an indoor, year-round marketplace serving up delicious food, amazing drinks, and fun events. If you weren't hungry before, get ready, because the Trolley Barn Public Market can satisfy any taste bud. Featuring fresh seasonal items from farmers, fishers, and food entrepreneurs, the Trolley Barn boasts dine-in and takeout options you won't want to miss. There are also beverages and specialty prepared food items to enjoy too. Outside in the yard, you'll find the Trolley Barn's wine, beer, and spirit garden featuring Black River Farms, Two Rivers Brewing Company, and Doan Distillery. The yard is comfortably settled in its very own park with an outdoor garden area, open air seating, and fire pits. This market hasn't always been serving up the food and drinks it does today. This building used to be home to the Quakertown Richlandtown Traction Company. The building was first built in 1896 as the terminal and trolley car barn of the Quakertown Richlandtown Traction Company, which was the region's first electric trolley that ran from Main and Broad Streets to the heart of Richlandtown. Named the Tripper Service, it continued until 1927. And in 1929, it was converted to a movie house called The Broad, complete with a piano player during silent films. As you can tell, this area is rich with history, and now with the addition of the Trolley Barn, people can gather here to meet, eat, and enjoy each other's company. I'm Katie, and that was a peek at the Valley.
While there's so many great food and drink options at the Trolley Barn Public Market, I'll have to try it out for myself. Up next, how KidsPeace provides services to help kids in crisis overcome challenges and transform their lives.
I grew up in a small town in Pennsylvania with my family. I really started having, issues probably when I was around 14. This is when I started with the whole self-harm and depression. There are times when you'll sit there and you can't picture a future. For me, all I could see was darkness because I couldn't picture myself making it past 17 or 18 years old. And starting at 16, I started going to therapy, in and out of hospitals. So my parents found out about KidsPeace when I was around 17 and thought that would be a good placement for me. I was very nervous when I first got there. I kind of just wanted to do my own thing and keep with what I was doing, but I knew that path wasn't going to lead me anywhere good. So once I accepted the fact that that was where I was going to be and that I was going to be there for a while, I just took advantage of the services that were there. While I was at KidsPeace, I spent the majority of the time in the residential home where there were, staff 24/7. There was a social worker that you would meet with. There were groups that social workers would run. They have so many different groups and activities and stuff, so they really cover all the bases to give you the therapeutic support as well as keep you entertained and engaged. The fact that there were staff around me 24/7 who could keep me safe, it was definitely a comfort knowing that people were always there. I think it's important to have those resources available for people because mental health isn't really talked about a whole lot, and I think that's why people try to do it on their own. Having these facilities and these organizations available that can protect you and are trained to work with you on this is very important. I would recommend KidsPeace to anybody really for the people who work there. They're really caring and supportive, and you can really tell that they're not there for a paycheck, but they're there because they care about people. I'm in a better place now. I have a full-time job as a residential counselor for adolescent females who were dealing with the same things that I was dealing with. I just graduated Liberty University with my associate's degree, and I'm doing all the things that I never thought I would do when I was a teenager. I never thought I would be able to live on my own. I never thought I would graduate college. I never thought I would have my dream job. My message to any other teenage girl is just that you're gonna be okay. It's not gonna last forever, that you can get through it, that you have people who love and support you, and life is worth living because there's a reason that everybody's here. KidsPeace does save lives because it saved mine.
It's so inspiring to see how this organization has made such an impact on the lives of those around us. Coming up, how St. Luke's diagnosed a Bethlehem teen with a 1 in a million diagnosis. St. Luke's has opened an 8-bed pediatric intensive care unit that provides critical care to children and teens. Take a look at Noah's story.
Hi, I'm Noah Kostick. I'm in 10th grade and I go to Liberty High School. I play football for the school, and next year I'm probably gonna play lacrosse. I actually don't remember that day at all.
The day that everything happened with Noah, it was a typical day. My sister Mary was having a first birthday party for her son, so we all went over to her house. She has a little patio in the back, so all the boys were playing basketball, and I remember Noah sitting down on a chair, and I walked over, I'm like, "Are you all right?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm just hot." Maybe like 5 minutes later or so, my sister Mary comes out the back door, and she said, "Gina, something's wrong with Noah." I looked at Noah. He was laying on the couch on his side, almost looked like he was convulsing. So I went up to him and I was just rubbing his head. I said, "Noah, just breathe." And I said, "Call 911. We get to the trauma center at St. Luke's main campus, take him back into the trauma room, and I'm sitting in that little waiting room. The doctor comes out and he's like, "Okay, Noah, we have him stable, and we think it's WPW."
Wolff-Parkinson-White is an abnormal electrical condition in the heart. Most people who have it actually may never even know. They may have mild symptoms like some gentle heart fluttering, or they may feel a little bit dizzy. For Noah, his case unfortunately was much more severe, and it actually led to his heart stopping.
When I found out about what I had, I was like a little confused because I didn't really, I felt something before, but I didn't think it would like lead up to like all that.
He actually had 5 extra electrical pathways. The doctors say 1 or 2 they've seen, but his case was very, very rare. They actually had to bring him back to life 3 times. Noah was in the hospital, the PICU unit, for about a week to get him stabilized.
The pediatric ICU is an 8-bed unit that's located at the Bethlehem campus. Pediatric intensive care is for the children that require really frequent monitoring, advanced treatment, and things that can only be done in an ICU setting.
For families who have sick children or children who need multiple different types of specialty care services, it's really inconvenient to have to leave the area to go to Philadelphia to travel when you have other kids at home or you're working. And so having all of this right here in the Lehigh Valley for our own patients and their families in this community makes it so much more convenient for our families.
In the intensive care unit, we see children in a huge range of acuity. Unfortunately, for some children, it can be their worst day of their life. And fortunately for us, we're able to support them through that, and nearly all of our children get better. We have great support from our pediatric unit and a great group of pediatricians that work with us in the community.
The look and feel in the PICU, we want it to be fun, we want it to be comfortable, bright, and cheery. No one wants to be in the hospital. Kids definitely don't want to be in the hospital, so while they're here, we're trying to make that experience as good as it can be.
I am grateful for St. Luke's because all they cared about was making Noah comfortable, getting Noah better.
Noah was discharged from us in excellent condition. While he was here, he started with physical and occupational therapy. He was seen frequently by our cardiologists, and he was discharged home to complete his ablation.
It was a crazy experience, but like thankful for them for like doing everything for me and like their best just to make me like who who I am today, because I'm doing good, back to weightlifting for football, so I feel like I've came a long way. Because of St. Luke's, I am here today.
Joining me today is Pat Gubich, Nurse and Patient Care Manager of Pediatrics and the PICU at St. Luke's University Health Network. Thanks for joining us, Pat.
Oh, thank you so much, Ashley, for having me on the show today.
There is an amazing new addition of a pediatric intensive care unit at St. Luke's. Can you tell us a little bit more about it and what makes it so special?
We have the PICU that has been the newest addition to our pediatric service line. We opened in February. It is an 8-bed PICU. Each room is an individual room for each family. When we were developing and building this area, we thought that it was so important to make sure that the parents were there with us. They are such an important part of the healing process of that patient, and having them there with us has been recognized as one of the most important things.
And when a child goes through some sort of major illness or surgery or an accident and needs the kind of extensive care that traditionally an ICU, a pediatric ICU, could provide, how does that helping our community by keeping those kids and the families close to home right here in Bethlehem at St. Luke's?
Having a PICU and having those parents stay close within their family network, they need extended family support and as well as the community support. They have lots of friends and families that can support them by having that care close to home.
The pediatric department at St. Luke's has grown extensively, especially in recent years. Tell me a little bit more about the surgical program and some of the subspecialties that families in the Lehigh Valley now have access to through St. Luke's Pediatric Department.
We now have a total of 13 specialists here at St. Luke's, from pulmonology, nephrology, and we have a developmental specialist, the only one in the area as well. We have a lot of specialists that can now care for all these patients here in the Lehigh Valley area.
Which is really amazing. And it's not just for patients who need to come into the hospital for care, but there's also been a huge expansion of primary care pediatrics throughout the region. Tell us a little bit more about why that's important and why families should be alerted to how important it is to get that regular pediatric care for their children.
Pediatricians have grown throughout the Lehigh Valley and providing that specialized care to those pediatric patients. They also can then network with those specialists and connect those families to those specialists that they may need during their pediatric years.
You've seen so many changes in the network over your time, especially with this advancement and increase in focus on pediatrics. But the most important part of all of this is your care team. So talk to me a little bit about the nurses and the care team that support the families through what are very difficult times sometimes.
We have a wonderful care team. We have our pediatric intensivists that lead our team, and we have our PICU nurses as well. And they have gone through a lot of training to develop those skills to be in tune to all those new things that go on in the PICU. We have a pediatric social worker to help those families transition when they need to go home, or an extended care as well.
Pat, what makes you most proud about the work that you do with St. Luke's and the ability to work in a field that really has such a direct impact on people's lives every day?
Children just tug at my heartstrings. They always have. And for us to be able to provide that high quality care here at St. Luke's, that is the most important thing to me, to continue to provide that high quality care that we can to families right here in the Lehigh Valley.
Well, Pat, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm so happy that St. Luke's was able to open the PICU to patients who are in critical condition and that you and your team are there to serve them. Thank you so much. Stay tuned. This is The Peak.
Lehigh Valley Reads is a program bringing awareness to the importance of reading and diverse representation in books. Let's hear Edith's story.
¿Para quién es el último regalo, Señor Panda?
It's for you.
Es para ti.
My name is Edith Gutierrez Hawbaker, and I am an art director. I was born in Argentina, in Buenos Aires, and I came when I was a very young girl with my mother and my sister. My relationship to books was important because my mom worked like 2 to 3 jobs. It was like my babysitter. It was through that I kind of traveled in my head and was really inspired to also be an artist through all the beautiful illustrations that I would see in the books. I connected through the storyline or the theme of the book, but not necessarily like character development or anything like that. And it wasn't until much later, until I was like in college, that I really started connecting with other like Latinx artists or characters in books. And so I am so grateful for having a son who I read with all the time, and that there are so many more opportunities for him to explore his culture through books.
It's the thought that counts. Lo que cuenta es la intención.
So it's really important for young people to see themselves represented in books and in media, so they feel like they have a sense of self-worth. For us, it's an opportunity to have a discussion with our son and have like teachable moments. And then there's just like super fun opportunities to be silly and read about Captain Underpants.
Let's hear how Fitzpatrick, Lentz, and Buba's Family Law Group offers sophisticated and personalized family law services.
The philosophy of our practice is to take an individual or a family and help them get through a difficult period of time in the best way possible and the most efficient way possible.
We are a full-service family law practice. We help people who are going through the process of divorce, whether they are amicable or less than amicable. We help people who are having child custody disputes. We help people with modifications to agreements, child support orders. We do adoptions, and we help people who are victims of domestic violence as well.
I think there is a misperception that if you have attorneys in a case, it's going to make a case more litigious or more contentious. For the most part, if you have an attorney or two attorneys that practice family law, chances are your case is going to be more amicable, more expeditious, and more cost-effective for both parties.
Nobody likes to go through a divorce. Nobody likes to have to call a divorce attorney. One of the things that I do really like about what I do is I can give them assurance that at some point this process will end. They will get to the other side of it, and many people come out of the process stronger.
We tend to meet with clients when they're at their lowest point in their life, and our job is to help them emerge from that point and find their footing on the other side.
We are 3 attorneys. We've been working together for several years. Each of us is able to handle all aspects of a family law case. We're able to cover one another, we're able to team up on cases, and then we have the extra added benefit of having our group function within this larger law firm.
I think it's important for the community to know that our group has every tool available to give you a personalized experience.
I am so incredibly lucky to be working alongside 2 talented family law attorneys, and I think it is incredibly beneficial to my clients. I would say that it's priceless to my clients that I have the ability to brainstorm and collaborate with these 2 women on a daily basis.
The work environment at Fitzpatrick, Lentz & Buba is incredibly collaborative. It is like a large family, and I find that everyone is willing to help in any way possible to get the best results.
What an important resource to families facing adversity. Great work, FLB. I'm Mike Mittman. Thanks for watching. To learn more about anything from today's show, go to our website at thepeaktv.com. And remember, every day is an opportunity to be your best self. This is The Peak. The serenade time has come. Okay. And the wind has come.
Portions of this program were paid for by St. Luke's University Health Network.
The Peak TV is a production of ASR Media.
Hey, it's Dakota. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to our channel for more videos.
To see more of the Peak TV, check out our website, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and catch us on WFMZ Channel 69.